Namaskar. Good morning, India. And joining me on the train, Vande Bharat, as a matter of fact, is General Ravi Shankar. General Shankar, Namaskar and welcome to P Guru's channel. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
Viewers, one of the things you will notice is there's hardly any sound, background noise, and he's traveling at a whopping speed right now. General Shankar, this has to be, I know, at your convenience, sir. Depending on how the bandwidth connectivity is, we'll keep going up and down. Over to you, sir. Let's get started.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for everything. Um Interesting news today is that three things. One is a deal on the cards. Trump has announced it. He says he might go to even Islamabad to do the deal, and Iranians have said they'll give all the uranium to them. But this is one-sided. Iran has said nothing about it. That's the first part. The second thing is, of course, the Lebanon-Israel deal goes into effect today. Now, that's pretty historic. I think we'll tackle the Lebanon-Israel deal first. It envisages a peace between Lebanon and Israel. And it also aims to disarm Hezbollah in the long run. But there are issues in this. So we'll see how this goes. And Netanyahu has very clearly said, I'm going to stay put in Lebanon till the whole thing is done. And probably this is the first time that such a deal is, being configured. There's a ceasefire there and all that. Now, what does this deal do? This deal brings peace to that area. It marginalizes Hezbollah in the long run.
And as the train goes through cell zones, sometimes you'll have this gap. He'll join us momentarily. Let's We're still waiting for General Shankar to reconnect. And while he does that, what has happened is there was a announcement by Trump. I'm just going to play that file. So for the benefit of those of you who may have not watched my previous one, here we go. Can we play this?
We have to do is we have to make sure that Iran does not have a nuclear weapon, because if they do, you want to talk about problems, you'd have problems. So very important is that Iran does not have a nuclear weapon, and they've agreed to that. Iran's agreed to that, and they've agreed to it very powerfully. They've agreed to give us back the nuclear dust that's way underground because of the attack we made with the B-2 bombers. So we have a lot of agreement with Iran, and I think something's going to happen very positive.
Sir.
Yeah, that's very interesting because what he says is that Iran has agreed to give everything, nuclear dust, everything. But look, there's nothing coming from the other side so far. In fact, what little I've seen about thing from Iran, one guy says, look, we're going to take oil out through the Caspian. The other guy says, this is the fight to the finish. All coming from the IRGC kind of people. Even Galibaf has put out a tweet regarding the Lebanon truce. This is a victory. This is a victory to Hezbollah. This is a victory to Iran. So they are also playing it out as a victory. And we'll see. how this whole thing goes. You'll see as days unroll, things will start to happen, but early days. But what's important is Mr. Asim Munir is sitting in Tehran, sorting out everything and trying to, tell the Iranians to give up on the whole thing. But how much will the Iranians trust Asim Munir is a question mark.
And onwards to our next bump. Uh, let's take a look at the other video while General Shankar reconnects.
Still, though
Oh,
Iranians
First to the graphic, this is taken before the blockade began. North is up. You can see the blockade line here in the center of the graphic, denoted by the red dashed line. This map is a pull from our common operating picture that we use to allow commanders and key leaders to see what is happening in near real time. We just grabbed screen grabs to highlight the actions and activities. What is not shown is how incredibly congested this area is and the incredible work that our sailors are doing to ensure that they can work in and around an incredibly busy water space. What is also not depicted here is the massive force of fighters, intelligence aircraft, helicopters, and other embarked forces to include aerial refueling tankers that are up overhead this blockade area. You'll note that U.S. forces are in blue, Iranian ships are in red, and as we started this blockade, there were 7 ships of interest that were of concern for U.S. Central Command. Through a variety of intelligence tools and with the assistance of the Office of Naval Intelligence and other intelligence agencies, the force began to hunt for potential interdictors at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Next slide, please. It's now 12:40 Eastern Daylight Time, 2 hours and 40 minutes into the blockade, as attempted blockade runners attempt to hop the line. U.S. forces began to commit. Out in front of them was a range of intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, and tactical assets. And immediately these runners began to see, sense, and feel America's combat power compressing upon them. The lead ship, normally a destroyer, as depicted here, along with air power off of the USS Abraham Lincoln Strike Group, began to move towards those ships. At each point, the United States Navy will transmit a warning. A young sailor, normally on the bridge of one of those destroyers, a junior officer, picks up that mic and transmits, and I quote, "Do not attempt to breach the blockade. Vessels will be boarded for interdiction and seizure transiting to or from Iranian ports. Turn around or prepare to be boarded. If you do not comply with this blockade, we will use force." And as this message is being transmitted, as I mentioned earlier, those shipmasters can literally see, sense, and feel the pressure around them. It's a finely tuned machine, rehearsed multiple times, and executed now 13 times since the blockade has begun. Next slide, please. We're now 24 hours plus into the blockade. You can see the turning around of multiple ships, 12 of which stayed inside the blockade line, one of which not depicted off to the eastern side, turned around before even attempting it. Any ship that would cross the blockade would result in our sailors executing pre-planned tactics designed to bring the force to that ship, if need be, board the ship and take her over. And that includes a series of escalated force options, which could include warning shots and others. Next slide. The final graphic shows taken at 11:20 p.m. the night of 14 April. you can see that the captains of all these ships have made the wise decision not to move, transit, or run this blockade. As I mentioned, so far 13 ships have made the wise choice of turning around. And as we continue to hold this blockade at the order of the Secretary and the President, any vessel that compares to comply with our instructions will be dealt with accordingly. As of this morning, U.S. Central Command has not been required to board any particular ships. And I'll remind you that we are also conducting similar maritime interdiction actions and activities in the Pacific AOR against those ships that left that area before we began the blockade.
All right. I have got a file now to show you. Let me just load that. I'm just loading another file where we are actually tracking the number of ships passing through the Hormuz Strait. And what I did was I took 3 snapshots, and I'm going to share that with you so that you have an idea how many ships are passing through. So if you look at this timestamp, 47, that means 47 days, 21 hours, 52 minutes, there were 21 ships that were passing through. Can you go to the next one, please? Then in a couple of hours, the number came down to 6. That means in that small window, that is 23, 24th hour, a lot of ships moved, and then it has pretty much stopped. And just now, I took a peek at the same monitor, and now 8 ships have passed. So maybe with daylight, the ships are going to start, more ships are going to pass. But the basic takeaway is that you can take it away. Hormuz Strait is locked shut, and so is Bab al-Mandab. So 6,000 ships, almost in a convoy fashion, are going all the way down to the Cape of Good Hope and turning around, because these are all headed for Europe. And almost all of them are going down and then turning around and going up. That's going to be a 14-day delay, plus God knows how much money it's going to cost for the importers who will be paying the duties when they are taking the things off of those ships in Europe. So Europe is going to get the sticker shock maybe in a couple of weeks' time. At the same time, Europe now thinks that it can join the battle. For example, in Bab al-Mandab, these guys have not only started shooting drone swarms, they have also mined the Red Sea. Houthis have mined the Red Sea. And there are UK destroyers which are good at demining. So now UK and US are actively demining the Bab al-Mandab. See, the challenge here is not only do you have to demine, you need to keep those people away, the Houthis away, from coming in and mining it somewhere else. This cannot be like a continuous process where you are taking things out and they are keeping on putting things in. So something has to happen. The Houthis have to be, given a rap on their knuckles, I guess. So we'll have to wait and see how United States decides that. In the meantime, Trump's claim has been bold. I have not seen any response from the Israelis nor the Iranians. I hope you saw the video that I put out of my listening to an informal briefing by the defense minister, Gideon Sar. Essentially what he said was that now people in Iran are saying that Iraqi terrorists have crossed over and crossed into Iran, and they are terrorizing the population. So it's not just Iranian IRGC, but people from Iraq also are coming in. And this guy, failed marshal, is in Tehran trying to do something. We don't know what it is. Somewhere, he has now become like the ambassador or the messenger for Trump. He's trying to tell something. And sometimes you never know. With Asim Munir in the middle, he might be giving what Trump likes to hear, and the truth may be something else, which is why I'm saying that, you need to hear from Iran that they have indeed agreed to give up their enriched uranium. So that's where things stand, and I think I'm going to log off. General Shankar is finding it difficult to get back in, but you got an idea about the video that Dan Kane had put out. Sorry for the volume; it could have been a little bit higher, but we didn't have time to check, so our fault. So that's where things stand, and we'll be back again tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. and General Shankar will be back in his office studio, so things will be better. Thank you once again. Namaskar.